Without further ado, let me switch over to the keynote presentation.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the Software Know-how 2020. The venue this year has been changed, as Harald mentioned, and while the circumstances are unusual, we do want to use this as an opportunity. Today, I'd like to talk to you about sustainability and what Morel is doing to further sustainability in the world, and in partnership with you, how we can work towards these goals. Before going into how we're doing in sustainability, we need to define what it is. And for that, I'd like to use the United Nations framework for sustainability that has defined 17 goals against sustainability in the world. The United Nations World Commission on Environment and Development states, sustainable development is development that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. That's a fairly difficult sentence to put into action. So what we have done is take a look at these goals that the United Nations have defined, and we have identified the top 3 that we believe Morel, in partnership with you, can make the most progress. And I'd like to dive in on these 3 goals a little bit. But before I do that, I think it's worth mentioning goal number 4, so to speak. And on a personal note, number 4 is very important to me because my sister has a startup company that is actually working on measuring gender equality in the world. But that's not the reason for bringing that up. Empowering women is essential for economic growth and requires commitment from all stakeholders, including businesses. Morel is committed, in partnership with you, and through our hiring and training process, to achieve gender equality. I will admit, we're not there yet, and we can do better. And now that I've snuck in the 4th focus area, let's discuss the 3 that I mentioned before, that we have identified where we can make the most progress. It's zero hunger, industry, innovation, and infrastructure. And finally, responsible consumption and production. I know you all recognize the importance of taking the right steps. And we could even say that our industry is at stake if we don't take the right steps here. Zero hunger. With a world population expected to grow to 9 billion by 2050, it is imperative that we focus on increasing food supply and find ways to end hunger. With growing pressures on the food system globally, there's risk for many businesses and communities. This doesn't rest on one company. It rests with all of us. And together, in partnership with you, we want to work on improving in this goal. Industry, innovation, and infrastructure is another goal that we feel very important in all our work. Our industry relies heavily on the raw materials, resources, labor, support. And I'll talk a little bit later about what we're doing in remote maintenance and how that can help. Responsible consumption and production. While it's great to see that more of the population is joining the middle class globally, it does put a strain on the food supply worldwide. And that can only be achieved through higher yield and different means of production. The first step is to measure yield and then monitor it in order to improve it. Our vision is a world where quality food is produced sustainably and affordably. Like many vision statements, it's very high level, and it is meant as a guiding principle. And we need to create products that deliver solutions that your business is faced with today. So what we did is we went out and gathered requirements from many of you, collected them into the top 5 categories, and then I'll bring it around and show that the products that we have today can actually meet your immediate business needs, while at the same time further our goals towards sustainability. The 5 categories that we have determined through the interviews that I mentioned are value chain integration, insights, performance management, uptime, and managing complexity. I'll go into detail on each one of those. The first one being value chain integration. This is a key component as we think about sustainability. Sustainability is impossible to achieve unless we have full value chain integration from farm to fork. Next one is insights. We all need insights, better insights on our business, what is happening right now in order to take actions. Performance management. It's pointless to have data unless we can act on it. So how do we actually turn the data that we're collecting, the insights on the business, into actions? Goes without saying, stuff actually has to work. And the last one, managing complexity. This is a concern I think all of us face in today's world where the customer is requiring increased insight in everything that they buy. Personally, I get frustrated if I don't know exactly where the package is that I ordered from Amazon 20 minutes ago. And this is the world that we live in today. The customers and businesses need to manage the increased complexity of the full supply chain. These 5 categories, how do those categories map with the 3 sustainability goals that I mentioned before? They actually map very well. Zero hunger. We can maybe not have zero hunger, but we can take steps towards that goal with performance management and improved yield. Industry, innovation, and infrastructure, the same as insights and performance management. Responsible production, that is achieved through value chain integration and uptime. And then, of course, there was the responsible consumption. I guess that's more of a issue for me to address. Solving your needs with sustainability in mind. Well, let me transition over to our products and connect that back to sustainability and your immediate requirements.
We are looking at the idea of how do we have to fill the layer between ERP and process. There is this layer that because we're in a disassembly business, ERP systems can't actually get down onto the floor, and then you've got on the floor. So there's a lack of control between, in a sense, your ERP and what's happening on the floor. And I think Innovate is in that space. So that was certainly a takeout as to, let's see where we could put in Innova. We have systems already doing that. So it's an evaluation of, can Innova replace it? The advantage of being Innova is that if everything connects up, now I know everything isn't quite connected up yet, but that is an interesting space in the future if everything was connected. That's exactly what we're looking for, is there is this layer, where is it going, how's it going to be fulfilled, and what do we see as the technologies in the future that are going to facilitate that? So absolutely, that's all part of that same question of what's the future going to be, what's going to be the best solution for that future. Absolutely agree. We want you to be the best that you can be to help us be the best that we can be. I am a real advocate that we have to push suppliers to be better, because that'll help us be better. We're not in the business of producing machines, but we want the best machines. We're not in the business of producing software, but we want the best software. So absolutely, definite partnership, and a partnership based on trying to be better.
Morale is built on innovation. It started in 1977, but is officially founded in 1983 on the scale, so to speak. It started with a scale, and at that time we were ahead of the industry, and it's built on innovation. The industry evolved from individual equipment and then to optimizing the business on full line performance. And today, Morale is a full line provider with a strategy of having standard building blocks to provide full line solutions for poultry, meat, and fish. Our goal is to bring our advanced to optimizing the business on full line performance. And today, Morale is a full line provider with a strategy of having standard building blocks to provide full line solutions for poultry, meat, and fish. Our goal is to bring our advanced automated systems and solutions to every step of the production. Our full line approach includes equipment, systems, and production lines. But the industry continues to evolve, and so do we. The industry is no longer inside the factory. Mentioned before, it's the value chain integration. And that's where software comes in. Our software solutions expand outside the factory. They do solve the immediate needs that you have inside the factory on optimizing the production and controlling the equipment, but it also connects outside the factory. Jafnvel einhver tónlist. To deliver connectivity outside the factory, we're embarking on a journey. Morale has a vision of being the partner of choice for digital transformation in the food processing industry. Today, we have leading software products and pilots. We already have the Innova system that most of you are familiar with, and we are expanding on that into new categories. We're already running pilots on predictive maintenance, which will be brought to market later this year. And this will help you remotely manage equipment in order to have faster response time. But let me start with the process control. This is where we connect the full factory together. We monitor the performance in real time and can help you improve the production. And this is also where I do want to talk a little bit about what some of you may know as Innova Lifecycle Support. As I mentioned, we're connecting the software outside the factory. And what we are committing today is that future updates related to your modules, when we release them connected, you will get that update for free. But as I mentioned before, it's not enough to optimize the process inside the factory. We also need to expand the horizon. And this is where connected business comes in. Connected business is a family of products, which is all about connecting the factory or even connecting multiple factories, so you can optimize the full production that you have. What we have done is split connected business into 4 products. And those are logistics, performance management, planning and optimization, food and safety management. Let me talk about logistics. This is the optimization of the material flow, final packing, labeling, and it's also the automated material at reception. Performance management. While it is related to the line performance management that I mentioned before, this is also about how you remotely performance manage the factory. Real-time tracking, visualization on your phone, if you so want. Planning and optimization. Who hasn't thought about pressing a button and say, today I'd like to optimize all my inputs and outputs, put it on auto control, and take off? While I'm not promising that, we're working towards that. We already have running with one customer in pilot a planning system. We're taking the estimated input for the day, and we have achieved material impact in optimizing their production. And this will be connected in a way that you can look at multiple factories together and optimize them as one. And finally, there's food safety management. This one is always important, has always been important. While it may be more in the news these days than before, it is something that we have worked towards for many years. Through our quality control, traceability, we already have solutions in the market that can help you towards food safety management. Which brings us back to the overview. And here you see the full suite of offerings that we have in software. We have the process control that is monitoring, controlling, improving the production in the factory. And then there's connected business that is connecting the factory to other information sources or connecting multiple factories together. Very simple. But there's one more. Both of these are built on a platform. Today, we have 2 of those. On-prem and cloud. And let me talk about the on-premise platform to begin with. This one, you all know, it's a server that's on site, connects all the equipment together to provide the process control. It has a modular architecture, predefined full line solutions. So in many ways, why would you need to change it? But we also do have the cloud infrastructure already up and running, as I mentioned, in pilots. There are many benefits of a cloud infrastructure. You can connect data to your mobile device, connect multiple factories together. But there's a downside. You're now dependent on an internet connection, which may not be available in every location. And it's also adding a little bit of risk to the production that is critical. So what we're doing is bringing these two together into one hybrid platform. The hybrid cloud. This is where we bring both the on-premise and the cloud together into one. You get the best of both. You're not dependent on an internet connection, but you get the increased benefits. And as I mentioned before, the internet connection and the connectivity plays a critical role in the sustainability goals. That is how we can achieve the full value chain integration. That's how we can achieve the optimization. And that's how we can take one step further towards zero hunger. So it actually all comes together. Sustainability, your requirements, and our solutions. We've talked about our commitment to sustainability and how our products support that with an overview and connection to your requirements. We look forward to showing you more details over the coming days in the next presentations.
Around the world, IoT and cloud technologies are being introduced at breakneck speed. At Marel, we're embracing these new technologies to help our customers stay at the forefront of modern processing. Our new hybrid cloud platform allows you to harness data and gain valuable insights into how to maintain and run your equipment optimally. Using the cloud, we connect to the equipment in your factories, giving us access to real-time data and the actual status of each machine. This data allows us to detect and resolve problems faster, give earlier warnings on any decline in performance, and monitor critical components to predict necessary maintenance. Our iconic Sensor X is one of the first Marel machines to experience the benefits of this new technology. You'll gain access to real-time dashboards, which indicate the health and status of your machine, as well as prioritized task lists. In addition, we can now offer better remote support using data from the cloud, giving us the opportunity to understand and resolve customer issues much quicker than before. Different components of the Sensor X are monitored, instantly informing us of the root cause of any problem, triggering a task that leaves you with detailed instructions on how to solve that specific issue. For the most critical parts of the Sensor X, like the X-ray sensor, we offer predictive maintenance. We use machine learning algorithms to monitor the X-ray sensor in real time, which allows us to predict failure of that component before it actually breaks down. With this new development, we'll help you increase your uptime, optimize your performance, and shorten your resolution time. Imagine the potential if your whole factory were connected to the cloud, providing you with more insights, better overview, and confidence to be best in class. Step into the future with Marel. Together, we are transforming the way food is processed.
Thank you for joining us for this keynote presentation. I hope everyone is just as excited as I am about the coming presentations today and tomorrow.
Thank you very much, Hjalti. The next presentation starts at 1 o'clock CET. And in that presentation, our software specialists, Michael Parrish and Dustin Worrell, will give you a deep dive into the world of traceability. It's going to be followed by a Q&A session or question and answer section with industry specialists. Until then, stay tuned and see you there.